Have you ever dated someone who just seemed to be very argumentative, like very combative? Everything was a disagreement, escalating to an argument, and you just didn't know why. I remember dating someone where I was just mentally drained because every conversation, it just ended up going left. And I never knew why. And this is before therapy. And I finally said, and this before I knew anything about triggers, something's triggering you and triggering me, right? I want to take ownership. Something's triggering us where we're responding in a way when the person who's saying it, that may not be their intention. So I think it might be best if we ask the other person to clarify if it's triggering us and that's not the person's intention. And I said that multiple times, and this was before therapy, and I really understood triggers and patterns. But the relationship became toxic, if you ask me. And it's interesting because this person didn't think it was toxic. No. I've been in a toxic relation. This wasn't toxic. It was toxic for me. One, because I'm not a very argumentative person. Me and my therapist, talked about this. And, I told her, I was like, some of my very closest friends, we have never had a falling out. I can't even think of a disagreement that we've ever had. So to date someone that you communicate with every day, that you spend a lot of time with, and by phone or in person, it always seems to escalate to a disagreement. That was new for me. That was different. And it got to the point where it became too much. And one thing my therapist said to me was, some people are used to functioning through chaos. It's normal to them. It's okay to function through dysfunction. And that being a part of that communication process where it just seemed like it was so combative. I couldn't say anything without it being twisted. Or even if I expressed something, it was received as it was being a tit for tat versus me help compare what I'm saying to what that person is saying and how we're basically saying the same thing but differently. So the one thing I would say as an advice to that is, if you're dating someone and the communication style is different, one, you definitely have to raise the concern to the individual and express how you feel, and if that is something that you can work through. What I learned from this situation is, in my takeaway, you can't change anyone. And if the person is not where I want them to be when we start dating, I have to take into consideration, if this person never changes, can I spend the rest of my life with them? And that's how I'm moving forward with dating, because to be dating someone that you talk to every day and just about everything starts to escalate to a disagreement and it's a trigger, one, I did encourage that individual to go to therapy, because obviously there was a root cause that needed to be addressed. But then two, it wasn't healthy for me, and it wasn't fair for me to have to interact and to be in a relationship where I had to be on the defense because this person didn't see me as a teammate. They saw me as an opponent. And it's important to know that we should not have to work so hard. This is for men and women, but we shouldn't have to work so hard when you're dating someone. I remember one of my mentors was asking, like, what's going on? Like, are you engaged? What's going on with marriage? And I was like, I was dating someone, but it just seemed like it was so much. And I remember her advice to me was, dating shouldn't be hard. You're having fun. You're enjoying one another. And if you get to a point where it's a lot of work to be in a relationship just to date someone, that's probably not the person for you. Marriage is work because two are coming to one. You're moving in with one another. You're sharing finances. There's so many things that come with marriage. But she said, dating shouldn't be that difficult and it shouldn't take that much out of you. And I've taken that forward with me. Like, you're right. There was no longer fun. Everything just seemed to go left, that we couldn't even enjoy the moment. And it made it where we couldn't even enjoy one another, because everything just turned into something else. So if you're dating somebody and it seems like it's always a disagreement, it's not healthy. It's okay to express how you feel and set your expectations of what you would like to see with the communication. And if it doesn't happen, walk away. Walk away from the relationship, but then walk away safely for yourself, because you deserve better. You don't have to function in dysfunction just because someone else does.